do this fucking video for a long time. So I'm just gonna go through some alchemist recipes real quick because y'all seem to have a lot of questions about refiners and what you can do with them. You know, besides duping, that's been fixed. So now we're gonna go down to my base into this little lab I created, so that way you guys can figure out how you can just sit there and make your own stuff instead of having to always go out and farm it. Just go through some little processes, and once you have about 6 planets as bases, you can just sit there and warp in between them and literally get everything you need. Alright, so I'm gonna land right here. This is just my supply ship. This is where I keep my elements. So we'll just go ahead and grab a stack of each of these. And yeah, this is on permadeath, so in the 4th galaxy, doubt any of you guys will be able to come and see this anytime soon. So go ahead and refill that. Now, I've set up this little thing to demonstrate some things. So the first thing you'll find is making rare metal elements with the large refiner is awesome, because if you add that up, it's always going to be mathematically profitable to do the 3-step process to make the items. Now, what I found out is several of these things have 3 things to make them. I don't know them all, but every single one that I've been researching does so far. So this has 3. This is the only way to make this as far as I'm concerned. Just get that down real quick. And that one is empty, but we go on to the next one, which is the medium refiner, and it's sodium and sodium nitrate to make destabilized sodium. That's really useful just for storage purposes in general. And it's always, see, like, that actually equals out to even. You don't lose anything there because it's 50 sodium and then 100 to make 100 sodium to make 50 sodium nitrate, and it's 50 of each, which makes 1 destabilize, and 1 destabilize basically converts it right back. So it's a good way to store your items this way. Same thing with carbonized crystals. Yep, just an easy way to store it. As long as you're not using anything to do this process, it's pretty useful. And one of the useful ones is this one, because this makes Terra Cobalt, and Terra Cobalt is an easy way to store it. Now, as you see, I'm actually running low, but I'll show you some tricks for that real quick. Adding oxygen to most things will increase it all the time. So it goes just to ionized cobalt. We're going to add some oxygen in there real quick. Notice it goes from 1 to 5, 2 to 5. So adding oxygen always makes things better. But you'll learn that. I'm going to stop this. Put this back. Literally put that over there. And it works the other way too. So it's 51. We want to create more ionized cobalt. Notice it's now 1 to 6. Oh, it won't even let you do it multiple times. How strange. There we go. I don't know why I was doing that. Magically, we have more ionized cobalt. So we'll just put all of that right there, and then we'll put it back the way it was. And we just made all this ionized cobalt. We didn't go out and really do anything. Just needed some oxygen. There was not that much cobalt to begin with. And now we can make 3. So literally just doing that, we just made some cobalt. Now, the same can be said with chlorine. Now, chlorine I really didn't find a use for a long time, actually until almost making this video. And making this video, I really found out that chlorine is one of the most useful things ever, because chlorine makes salt. Well, you combine chlorine and salt, and you can make chlorine lactis, which is basically an infinite amount of salt that you will ever need. You don't even need a salt mine. Once you get enough, you can just start this process of just making salt, and salt makes itself essentially. And what you'll need salt eventually for is the reverse process of making plants. So we're going to go over here, since we have my ship right here. Let's just throw in some random elements. You'll notice something funny happens whenever I do this. Oh, that makes frost crystals. Yep. Well, if that makes frost crystals, you can apply the same logic to every single other element out there. You'll notice then that ammonia should make fungal mold. Oh wow, yep, it does. And that can be applied to every single type of plant out there. Now, that being said, we'll go ahead and just make some of this real quick. Now, once you have your garden set up in your bases, you'll notice that you have lots of plants and what to do with them. Well, yeah, you stick a plant in and it'll give you 2 pieces of carbon for every single piece of plant you put in. But if you put it in with some salt, I have to find it in this giant list of stuff. There it is. It spits out the element just by adding salt. So you no longer need to hunt for planets with any of the elements. One of the biggest ones you'll grow is both phosphor and gamma root. Gamma root is because that's your propulsion system, and that's just the way it is. Like, that's what you're going to use for propulsion. Now, something I was working on that I just was able to do is making superoxide crystals. Now, this is much easier way to get oxygen than anything else. And actually what I read was, if I add uranium into this mix, it makes it even less, and it does. It takes some of the oxygen away. So that means you can make, oh, and it makes 2 of them. No, I can only make 2 of them. Okay. Easy way to make oxygen right there. And supposedly everything has like a 3-layer structure like this. So I haven't found out the ones that it takes for the sodium, and I haven't found out the ones that it takes for carbon crystals, and I haven't even found out the one it takes for the Terra Cobalt. But as you see, just by switching some elements around, we can essentially make everything we need just by standing on here. And I specifically chose a bubble planet because, well, it's Alchemist time. Haven't even put my refiner up on that node yet. So, what we're going to do here, yes, you can also transmute silver and gold into platinum, and if you didn't know, you can make platinum into nanites and also pungium into nanites. And with that, you should be able to have a nice little system of making nanites. Now, you are able to make gold and silver using perifium, I believe. if you you can just craft it from this menu as well. So there are multiple ways, and yeah, you can make 150 oxygen. But what the refiners do is give you a way to make it, A, before you know the recipe, and B, using different materials to make it. So even though I can craft it in my inventory, it just uses straight what it would give out. So that just is condensing rather than actual making of the materials. And I am looking for lemium. There we go. So uranium and pure ferrite makes lemium. That is gold. You put that in a refiner, that's gold. And the other one would be Herox, and that's silver, and that's ionized cobalt and ammonia. So right there you can literally start an infinite loop for nanites just using these alchemy processes that I've listed here. So I hope this was helpful, and see you guys later.